All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking real music in real time for real people just like you and just like me. All right, here's some real music for you right here. Crossing Rubicon, Perfect Storm came out this year. One of the top melodic rock albums of 2022. It will be in my top 20 somewhere when I get around to doing it, either maybe today or tomorrow. I've got to sift through all of the music I purchased. This is your Journey alternative, right? That's all I'm going to say. If you like Journey and maybe Survivor and a few other bands of that era, this works really well. You know, say you're tired of all the drama and you need to cleanse your musical palate so you can get your mind off the Jonathan Cain, Neil Schon, with a little Steve Perry mixed in drama. Anyone else involved in this drama? I think that's probably enough. maybe management. We got the guy from Def Leppard who took over as manager. Maybe Hypnosis. They own 2/3 of the catalog that I guess Neil and John sold to them. So there's all kinds of drama going on here. But, you know, folks, I had a patron who said to me, look, you know how you say any kind of publicity is good publicity? And I say it a lot. And in a particular genre, like the geezer rock genre, where, you know, things aren't going all that well these days. You know what I'm saying? I mean, radio stations are focus testing the music format into oblivion, where you're going to hear like one song by classic rock artists, and some artists have disappeared entirely and you don't even know they've disappeared entirely. They've been put down the memory hole. I mean, there are songs that you should hear still on classic rock radio stations that you don't hear anymore. And we've always lived through the music industry's inability to sort of adapt to changing times. And they've got to understand that a lot of us are a bit nostalgic at this stage. And we would like to hear some of those songs that we don't hear anymore. We wouldn't mind maybe 1 or 2 songs an hour from something like this. But I know that's so far out of the realm of possibility. Anyway, getting back to the whole Journey drama and publicity thing. So, yeah, could this be one giant publicity stunt? And the answer is, of course, yes, because neither of these guys are blameless in this. And, you know, I'll throw Steve Perry under the bus, too. He's not blameless in this. He could have toured. He could have had the surgery and went out on tour, and none of this would have happened, Steve. Imagine if Steve said, you know what, guys? I'm going to go get the surgery because I believe in Journey. And, you know, I know you guys want me to get the surgery because you want to get back on the road and get back to work. Imagine if Steve had gotten the surgery and there was no stone to crack and there was no curse of Steve Perry, which I think has followed this band. So Steve not getting the surgery was like Steve putting a curse on Journey. You know, that's the, you know, my problem is I just got through reading Return of the Gods by Jonathan Cahn, and it puts all kinds of weird thoughts in your brain about this sort of thing. Anyway, Jonathan Cain, he's got this comeback statement. It's really strong. He says, Neil, he's had access to the credit card statements. What the big problem is, Neil spends too much money, extravagant spending. All right. Now, I think at that point, if you're going to make that sort of statement, you probably should back it up with specifics. Like Neil Schon and his wife had a meal out on the road, and for 2 people, it cost like $2,000. That would be extravagant spending, I would think, right? Although I've been out to a few restaurants lately, not as much because of this whole Bidenflation thing that's going on. But yeah, I used to, you know, maybe spend $40 or $50 Now I'm spending 70, 80 bucks. And I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm not going out to eat anymore. See, those are the kind of decisions I have to make. And most people who watch my channel probably don't have the luxury of, running up the American Express card with the Journey logo on it. I was saying, hey guys, give me that card. I mean, I could live comfortably. Just give me the card. I'll give it back, and then guys can just write it off as a business expense. You're supporting the Real Music Observer and his work to promote the band. I could be part of your promotions team. I think I technically I'm already doing it. So anyway, this back and forth between these two guys gets people interested in Journey who had no clue about Journey, or they had forgotten about them. Didn't those guys quit after Steve Perry left? No. They've been going on for like 20 years now, 20 plus years, since 1998. That's when Steve Perry said he was no longer in the band. I think it was April or May of 1998. I think he even probably knows the day it happened, because supposedly John Cain called him up and said, hey, we're looking for new singers. Just didn't want you to find out the hard way and so forth. Way better than what they did in the case of Jeff Scott Soto, where, the guy from REO Speedwagon, Kevin Cronin, had to tell Soto that he was no longer in Journey. Yeah, ouch, right? So anyway, they go back and forth, the credit card and, the political stuff. Now, I do think Neil Sean has a point when it comes to politics, because John said the band isn't political. Now, I was on Team John back in 2017 because I was thinking, hey, he went to the White House, kind of like, when you tour the White House and you've got both Arnell and Ross Valerie, I think, with you, which I don't know. I guess it was maybe, I don't know if those guys wanted to go because they liked Donald Trump, or they wanted to go because they wanted that experience of visiting the White House. I don't know if Journey has ever been formally invited to the White House, but in this case, they went, most likely because John had this connection, which is his wife, who was an advisor. I still say that's not a really big deal, but here's what's a big deal. Somebody announces they're running for president. I don't care who it is. Could be somebody I can't stand, could be somebody who I used to like at one time, right? So they do this big campaign kickoff, and you're the musical entertainment for that event. That's kind of like more than just, going to the White House on an educational trip. So I do agree that is a political event, purely political event. This person is no longer the president of the United States. They're launching their campaign, and you're going down there saying, yeah, I believe in this so much. Speaking of believing in it so much, the song Don't Stop Believin' gets pimped out again at this event. It's been pimped out all over the place for various reasons, and it's actually getting a little bit sad, but it's the song that everybody knows, right? And it's got like billions of streams or something. I don't know how many streams. I don't know how many downloads, but it is, or it was, the most downloaded song. I don't know if some pop star has overtaken it. Bottom line is that was a purely political event. And John Cain has said in interviews, no, we're not a political band. This music doesn't belong to a political candidate, a political party. Now you've got Steve Perry, who people tend to like more than either John or Neil. They tend to like. Steve Perry represents nostalgia. Steve Perry was in the band when the band was at its peak. That's why Steve should have gotten the surgery and toured after Trial by Fire. He should have gotten the surgery. If he wanted to keep that band going and he believed so much in what those guys were doing, he should have gotten the surgery, but he didn't. Anyway, Steve Perry said, look, I didn't sign off on this song being used at any sort of political event. And I believe it was the same person who was using the music. And I think maybe instantly what people do is they go, oh, so you don't like Trump, right? That's not the point. The point is, again, and I said this back when I was kind of pro John, I said 50% of the people are not going to like this because the country is so divided. And again, I make exceptions to this rule. If you're going to go see Roger Waters, you know it's going to be political. If you sit there and you complain about Waters and you're like, man, I can't believe he's political. Really? He's been political pretty much since, I don't know, like 1975, maybe before that. And Pink Floyd, they're political. In fact, David Gilmour is out there still talking about how great Ukraine is, and Waters is on the other side of this to some degree, which is interesting. Maybe that was one of the reasons they broke up. Maybe they didn't see eye to eye on certain things. But anyway, getting back to the politics of music, Journey had declared that they weren't political. And then this becomes very political. Now, Neil Schon really hasn't done that to that degree. I think he did actually play a benefit or something for Mitt Romney years ago. And people were saying, hey, I thought you weren't really into Mitt Romney. I thought you played for the other team, you know, and he said, basically, hey, it's for money. So, you know what? In a way, I think that's better. You're at least admitting, hey, it's financial. I don't mind the Romneys. By the way, look at the Romneys now. Look at Mitt Romney, what he is about now. Ew, right? For those of you who voted for him in 2012 thinking this is going to be a big change. Yeah, no. And that's the problem with politics in general, is it will let you down. Music isn't supposed to let you down. Music is your escape, literally, right? Music is the way you navigate life in some ways, because you're thinking, you know what? I don't want to hear what this person's saying anymore. They're just lying to me. They're lying to me. But this isn't lying, right? This is going to speak to my heart and my soul. Depending what kind of music it is, it might speak even bigger and better. You know, you go listen to some Casting Crowns or some Third Day, and you'll be at least, you know, being educated and being enlightened with something that's much better probably for your soul. But just the music itself has power, right? And so a lot of us who grew up listening to Journey or whatever band, you know, whether it was Foreigner, REO, those were the wheelhouse bands of the great melodic rock era. Those things are important to us. Those moments where, you know, we were what age when we were listening, and what were we doing, and how did this song impact, say, a relationship? Say you were dating somebody, whatever. Say you met your wife listening to Can't Fight This Feeling, you know? The most overplayed REO Speedwagon song on planet Earth, by the way. Anyway, this is just publicity. This whole thing between Neil and John ends up being publicity. And people will say, well, it's bad publicity for the band, but it's still publicity. They're still selling tickets. How are they going to be on stage together for that first concert? Well, you're going to have to tune in and find out, right? Again, it's rubbernecking. There's a car accident. I wonder what happened over there. Should I look? I shouldn't look, but I'm going to look anyway. I'm looking. In fact, you're not even looking at the road in front of you. You know, you're going to cause another car accident. But see how human nature is. See how effective the drama is to get people to tune in to find out what's going to go on. Yeah, I want to buy a ticket. I want to see what's going to happen. See if they can get through this. And people will have their phones out. They'll be taking like close-up shots of facial expressions between Neil and John. Neil's not going to look over at John. John's not going to look over at Neil, most likely, unless somebody really messes up a part. And then Neil will go and say, that concert last night really sucked because John missed an entire, keyboard part or something, and it could happen the other way. You don't know. John will say, look, all of this drama is affecting Neil's ability to play his guitar solos. This is bad for the band. And then people will, again, buy tickets for the next show. And, you can always fall back on Toto because Luke and the crew he's got, they put on a great opening set. They do a great job. I saw them this year. And both bands, I thought, were fantastic. I thought Arnell sounded great, although everyone says he's being auto-tuned. He's being cleaned up. It's all just digital processing at the end of it, and you can make anyone sound great. So that could be true. And that's also pretty sad. That's why maybe you should just go down to the bar down the street, blues night, Wednesday night blues, Friday night blues. Just go down there and hang out and hear some real music being played by real musicians who aren't, stuck up drama queens. That's about what this is, right? Do I still like this band? Yeah, I do. And of course, like I've been saying, this is pretty good for my channel. You can tune in to find out what is going to happen next. But for anyone who's thinking, this publicity is going to take them down, I don't know. We're living in a weird time where a lot of publicity like this ends up being beneficial for somebody. Somebody might ask Neil or John to do an interview, right? How many people are going to tune into that? By the way, I've been trying to get Neil Sean on the show, but he's like, no, I can't go on. There's too much legal stuff going on. And, I know Neil and I would break the internet. Same thing with John. If John wanted to come on, if he wanted to, put out his side of the story, I would just let him talk, and I would just nod and I would say, okay, thanks for being here, John. And, good luck on tour next year. It's going to be great to see you guys out on the road. Anyway, folks, before I finish up here, Perfect Storm by Crossing Rubicon. It's your journey alternative. If you're, again, you need to cleanse the palate. I've got lots of music back here, maybe over here. Over both shoulders, you got the Turkish Delight. I'm always pointing the wrong way. And then I got some books to hawk. No, I'm just kidding. These are books that I've read that I've enjoyed. And some of them are very shall we say, anti certain social media platforms. But whatever. We're living in some very dark times. And for some of us, music is a good thing. Reading is a good thing. Conversing with like-minded people, that's an important thing. And you can do that over on Patreon. Not to just shamelessly plug that again, but it's $1 a month. You could sign up. I've got the other channel, The Radical Independent. You can check that out. A lot of hardcore political stuff. And I've been finding out that people don't agree with me on the issue of Ukraine. Shocker, right? Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. The very least you can do is just subscribe. Revenue, by the way, is tanking again. They did something to the revenue stream. So if you can help me out via just watching the videos or subscribing, or you can do YouTube memberships now for $2.99 a month. And I think that goes into the till as well. Although I don't think I've seen anyone sign up for that as of yet. People, I think, would rather just do the Patreon thing, which is cool. I appreciate that. And again, I will see you all very soon.